So, back at the William Thomas Cemetery. It's been probably pushing up on 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, really, since this was last weed whacked, and probably should have snapped a shot before or started a video before. Still working to try to figure out how to efficiently and effectively video some of this. But anyways, it continues to look better and better. It's going faster and faster each weed whacking, so that's pretty exciting. The creeper in the grass keeps expanding. I mean, we keep getting lots of these shoots. I think they're little locusts or some sort of thorn-like tree that keep trying to come up. Obviously, the paradise trees, you can see all kind of ringing the edges here. I'm gonna probably poison them if I don't hear anything about alternative plans. I'll probably poison them off, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But just wanted to shoot a quick video to show how we're looking. I mean, it's just I mentioned this was kind of an experiment for me with a cemetery this size, but also B, a plot that isn't clearable to nothing, or isn't even and smooth and clear and turnkey. And I mean, I'm really cautiously optimistic that this is gonna, kind of is already settling in a cycle that is, pretty maintainable. I mean, it's not a huge deal to weed whack this. I'm trying to see what time it is. It probably didn't even take me 25, 30 minutes to run through it all. And I mean, a lot of that time is getting hung up on some of these trunks that I still, one there, there's another there, that I still need to cut out. And they keep setting up the shoots. So, I mean, if you exclude those from the mix here, and you're kind of just getting the, like, blackberries, the wild blackberries, some of the other little weeds, and the grass, it really flies. So I mean, we're definitely looking white. We're looking white almost across the board. So I mean, I promised I'd get a video of this. I did not. But there's Gertrude. She is set, base set. She's been set in the socket, mortared in, and she's good to go. And I mean, I took off about an inch off the bottom to give it a nice smooth cut, so she'd sit in there properly. I may need to tinker a little bit. As you can see, I haven't filled in around there. I think it might just be a fuzz cocked, and I'll kind of tinker with that and adjust it before we go. I mean, these may settle over time, and they may need adjusting anyways, but rather get it kind of where it needs to be. So there's Gertrude, her husband Leonard. I did videotape that, and I'll put that up at some point once I kind of figure out how to functionally edit the videos down a little bit. But yeah, so these two are done. This couple here is done. Gertrude is the daughter of James Oney over there, the first one we did. Fortunately, he continues to stay a little bit orange. We have not found a solution to this. This is a problem with Bedford's red clay. It stains. It stains like nothing else. And we've had another plot that we fixed about a year ago, and we pulled those stones deep out of the soil, and no matter how many treatments with D2, rain, weathering, it just seems like that marble has just sucked in that deep red. So I mean, that's a little frustrating, but I mean, that is what it is. We can do the best we can and go from there. So he was set. His 2 footstones were set. I still need to come back and just put a dab of probably Pratley putty, and just to kind of hold them in place a little bit, and then put some monument compound around the edges, to prevent the water penetration, and go on with those. But I hadn't noticed this one. I wasn't planning on messing with this, but it's leaning a little bit. I don't know that I'd mess with the base. It's not really significant enough, but I don't know. Maybe we will. It's got a pretty big. However, it's sitting. It's not really making any contact on the backside here. So we'll see about that. We still have to have a couple. There's Leonard and Gertrude again. We still have a couple markers to fix. Sally will raise her up a little bit. She's pretty sunken. Doesn't look too bad, but she's actually in a pretty big dip. So while she's definitely well below grade, because that is the same exact marker as Leonard over there. You can't even see the base. She's really, if you actually draw a line across, you know, the death date is actually probably below the grade of this on either side of the sunken burial spot. I'm gonna come over here. This is the other one that I tried to get some video. I don't know what I got, what I didn't get. We'll find out. But it's John Frederick Mortimer Thomas. He is a son, I believe, of James Thomas, the one I just pointed out that may need some attention. I'm not sure about it. But he was leaning pretty far forward with the die, kind of, you know, leaning off and not joined to the base, and so we kind of re-leveled him left to right and front to back, you know, similar to those over there. Probably we'll come here and tinker with it just to fuzz and make sure that it hasn't kind of settled to one way or the other. I'd hoped to make a video of that and ran into some difficulties where the base had been set in mortar, and you know, most of our experiences, that mortar will just, you know, slide right off. You chip it at it and it'll come off in a sheet, and that unfortunately didn't happen. So that took some extra effort, and you know, it is what it is. So he's been reset along with the two children that are buried here, Frederica Lazinka and John Mortimer, who presumably are buried alongside somewhere here. This is a little confusing as to what's going on here. You can see a big depression here, but there looks like another large depression there. I don't believe his spouse is here, so not sure, you know. And then there appears to also be a little bit of space. Not such a clear depression here before we get to more tomb rocks going that way. So I don't really know what exactly has gone on here. Is that sunken spot another adult, unrelated, or I mean perhaps related, but you know, not the children, and the children are, you know, right here. Not sure. I mean, these burials, I believe, were all, you know, during the Civil War, so I'm not sure. They're old. So a tomb rock for an infant may well have disappeared, or may have been very small, or may not have been put at all. So I don't know. But he did have a footstone, and we pulled that up, as you can see, and raised it. Interesting how you can see the soil, or chemicals, or insects. I don't really know. Kind of make little pitting pock marks that, as you go down, there's none, and as you go up, there's none. But right at the surface, where the soil touched it before, there's lots of little pitting and pock marks. Love to know what exactly is causing that, but raised him up, and then we come down here. We come to John P. Hurley, which I believe I made a video of before, and he's the last major one here that needs there's a little view of everything where we're coming from. That's cool. It's cool to see the light. And he's the last major one that needs work here. You can see he's leaning heavily to the right. leaning heavily forward, and that's a repaired footstone that we epoxied back together. You can see the joint right there. The other footstones line up there. Not really sure why they were removed. In kind of prepping, that one was out. This one was in and broken. That one was out and lying up there already. So I have no idea why it was removed. But this one here, when we went to kind of pull it up, we found what probably was the original footstones. This quartz. You can see they used quartz 1, 2 before they placed the pulpit style diamond base. And you can see another quartz burial right there. Several more burials over there. There's another one over there. So it's interesting the use of quartz. Typically not what's used, or not what we've seen used, but it's what it is. So probably today, I kind of came out here just planning to borrow a little bit of dirt to kind of fill up a bit around John Frederick. Continued to put some dirt at Leonard and Gertrude's base, so kind of spread that out a little bit. And then I was planning today just to kind of probe a little bit into what's going on with John Hurley here. Is that just set on the ground? Is there mortar underneath it? Some sort of footer? How are we going to go about just getting this leveled as efficiently as possible? Most of the markers in here have been set in various degrees of quality, concrete / mortared rocks, which really weren't effective at doing anything other than kind of making it a challenge for us to fix now. They kind of fell apart, except when you wanted them to fall apart, and then they didn't. So that's where it's at. I wanted to make a quick update. I'll post this in total, in full. Won't edit it. We'll go from there. Stay tuned for more.